For today's class, I want to make sure that you have two blocks and a strap. So you don't have blocks, maybe use what you've been using. It could be maybe some thick books. Strap, you can actually use your husband's tie. A tie would work, or a belt. If you can, a tie is preferable because it's more pliable rather than a belt, which can be actually pretty stiff. Kira's in my view. I can't see the Zoom people. Um, Anyway, so our practice today is a pelvic stability flow. And I have my friend Wendell, the skeleton here. I'm gonna have to just move Wendell because Kira's butt's in the way. But I have Wendell here just to so you have a better understanding of your pelvis. Your pelvis itself is located right here. So if you were actually to place your hands right onto your hips, right? And if you place them there, your hands are resting right here at the top rim of your pelvis. Your pelvis helps to support the upper half of the body when you're sitting, and it also serves to transfer the weight in our limbs when we're standing. The pelvis itself, this is the back of Wendell. His head doesn't want to turn that way, but this is the back of Wendell. And the pelvis is our three bones, two pelvic halves, and right in the middle is this triangular shaped bone called your sacrum. That's at the very base of the spine. So as yoga teachers, we always refer to this back part as the sacrum, but really it's just this triangular bone right set in the middle. When you palpitate that backside, you can feel it's flat, and I refer to it all the time. It's flat, it's bony, it's around your waistband of your pants. That's the two pelvic halves here. If you run your fingers back up towards your hips, it runs up to the iliac crest. And then if you slide your middle fingers down towards the center, you'll feel these two bony protrusions. Those are your ASIS bones, often referred to are your hip points. Those in turn merge downward towards a pubic symphysis. I forgot to mention at the very back of the pelvic halves, at the bottom, are your sit bones. You can kind of feel them if you're sitting down. We refer to that a lot in yoga. So when it kind of merges down here, right in the hollow space of the bony structure are actually a set of muscles. So the muscles and the bony structure create this bowl-like shape. So you probably heard it referred to as a pelvic bowl. Energetically, in the chakra system, it is also this place where it's called your Svanasthana chakra, and the element is water. So it kind of works well that this bowl holds water. So here we want to feel fluidity, but at the same time stability. And oftentimes when we have lower back pain, it's because our pelvis is imbalanced. There are many causes to this, but the ones I want to focus here are your QL, your quadratus lumborum, kind of runs laterally on your lower back. And a lot of times when it's imbalanced is maybe you tend to lean weight on one leg more than the other. Like if you're carrying your kid, you're holding your groceries, maybe your purse on the same arm all the time. And that causes the pelvis to tilt laterally, right? And that in turn causes lower back pain. If you have a tight psoas muscle, your psoas runs from the lumbar vertebrae all the way down to your femur bone, and it helps to draw the leg and the torso towards each other. When your psoas is tight, it turns the pelvis into more of a posterior tilt, where your pelvis will tip like so. So like a cat tilt, right? So it will look like that when you're tight. Whereas too, if you have tight hamstrings, right in the back chain, these three muscles behind your leg, if those guys are tight, it will cause your pelvis to move in an anterior tilt, like you're sticking your butt out. So I'm telling you this because in yoga, I will notice as an instructor that there's a lot of pelvic instability in a lot of postures. The one that we'll work on today is actually, we've done it many times, hand to big toe. Right? And so I'll turn Wendell to the side. A lot of times when I see people struggle to reach for the toe rather than maybe bending at the knee, what happens is that the pelvis starts to tip, right, into this cat tilt position. So when you plug the femur bone back into its socket, pull the low belly in and up, and maybe there's a bend in that knee. You can see I have Wendell's pelvis back at neutral. There's a natural curve in his lumbar, that low back. Same goes when we take that leg out to the side. How many times I see people take that leg up because they want to see the foot rise to the sky. What happened here now the pelvis is turned laterally. But again, if he draws the femur bone into its socket, it brings that pelvis back into neutrality. So all these are factors that we want to work in so that we can reduce that lower back pain and really work on strengthening the muscles of the psoas, your QL, your glutes, and your hamstrings. So with that, Well, set Wendell to the side. I want you to take your blocks with you as you start lying down your backs. Make sure you've got your strap to head towards the very back of your mat. You can start with your knees bent. You can extend the legs. You're just going to really find some grounding to begin. You can either cactus your arms out to the sides or inhale, reach your arms towards the sky, and then cross and drape your arms over your chest. Again, either drape the arms over your chest or cactus out the arms. And close your eyes down. Let's take a few moments here just to feel yourself arrive on your space. Noticing your breath. If you're in this crossed arm position, reach the arms overhead and then just simply switch up the cross. Again, feeling heavy through the arms as they just simply drape over your chest. And just feel how your chest just rises and falls with every deep inhalation and exhalation as you're now changing and controlling the movement of your breath towards either an even flow or ujjayi pranayama. Reach both arms up overhead as you inhale. Exhale, go ahead and lower the arms just out wide to the sides, and then walk the feet out as wide as your mat, knees bent, and just windshield wipe your knees from right to left for a couple moments here. So just creating internal rotation, external rotation of the hips, gentle massage into our glutes. You'll even feel how when one knee drops, that side of the sacrum or that side of the pelvis lifts. Right? So now when both knees drop over to the left, keep them there. I'm going to just turn around so if you need to look up and see me. Knees are dropped to the left. Go ahead and lean a little bit to your left rib cage. So you can take your right arm and then bring it behind your back. So the back of the hand will rest either at your low back or at your spine, and then roll onto your right hand. Right? So it's kind of like Gomukhasana in a way, but I want you to move gently. So it doesn't have to go all the way up to your shoulder blades. You can keep both knees to the left if you'd like, if that feels like it's enough for the arm. Otherwise, lift the knees up and we'll drop them over to the right side of the mat. And that will increase the stretch into your right arm. Take one more breath. Now, point the knees back up towards the sky, both feet flat. Lift the hips up enough so now you can slide your right hand down towards your glutes and then create a fist in your right hand and then sit onto your right fist. Stretch your left leg straight on your mat and we'll keep the right knee bent as we pull the knee towards the chest. And all you're going to do here, keeping the knee bent or even slightly straight, you'll just circle around and just kind of using your hand as a great little massage tool. So you can even play with it, maybe change the direction of the fist, getting right into your glutes, right into maybe your hamstring insertion. Kind of, there's no right or wrong. So just kind of play around. All right. What did you wake up with today? What kind of sensations did you wake up today? So just kind of loosening up and through that area. And after you've moved a few times, we'll simply pause, place that right foot flat to the mat, lift the hips up to take the hand out, and then bend both knees to cross your right ankle over your left thigh for reclined pigeon pose. So thread that right arm right in between your legs. Grab a hold of the back of the left hamstrings, both feet are flexed. Notice here as you start to pull the left leg closer towards you, it starts to curl the tailbone upward towards your navel center a bit more. So as that starts to happen, so you can actually feel just the back part of the very back, the very bottom part of your pelvis still rooted down against the mat. Take one more breath. And exhale, release that. Set both feet wide as the mat, arms to the sides, and again, a little windshield wiper right to left, side to side. And when both knees fall to the right, pause there. Roll a little bit to your right sideways so you can take your left hand, bend at the elbow to place the back of the hand at your sacrum or maybe closer toward your spine. And then as you roll onto your back, the open palm will touch the mat. Either keep both knees to the right if that creates just enough stretch for your left arm, or swing the knees gently over to the left side of your mat. Just that little movement just applies a little bit more of the pressure on that left arm just a bit through the shoulder, through the tricep, bicep. Let's now lift our knees up to the sky, feet flat. And then when you lift the hips up gently, we'll slide the hand down to our left glute, then create a fist in the left hand. Right leg will extend straight on the mat as you pull the left knee in, and then we just circle around. Right? Maybe there's same sensation here, maybe there's no sensation here. And again, just get a little organic with it, more observant with it, so you can kind of move the fist around into different areas of the glute. Again, just kind of bring some blood flow in it, nice little massage. And then when you pause, let's release that to recline pigeon, left ankle over your right thigh. Thread the left arm right in between the legs to grab the hold of the right hamstrings. So again, as you're here, think about how even though we have our legs in two different shapes, the emphasis and the release is in through that left hip, but even notice the relationship of your pelvis against the mat so you can keep it evenly rooted down. And we'll exhale to slowly release that. Both feet flat to the mat, knees bent. This is where you're going to grab your block and then place the shorter edges of your block inside your inner thighs, closer to where your knees are. So the wide part is facing you, right? Go ahead and walk your feet in a little closer towards each other. They won't touch, but I want them to be a little close. And instantly you feel your inner thighs work to squeeze the block more. Those are your adductor muscles. So from here, I want you to go ahead and now turn on your core center. So really brace the belly. Keep the belly braced, and all you're going to do is simply windshield wipe your legs right to left. But notice right away when you do so, it can get really easy just to let the core go. But keep your core strong. Keep squeezing your inner thighs. This is a way to kind of reset the pelvis by working the inner thigh strength. So all we're doing is just kind of rocking the legs, keeping the core strong, squeezing the block to work our adductor muscles, the inner thigh muscles. So you can go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that block off to the side and then grab a hold of your strap. I'm going to just turn around this way so you can see me better. From here, you're going to go ahead and then take that open strap or belt or whatever you brought with you, place it over your thighs, lift the feet up for a moment, place it over your thighs, and then thread the edges of the strap outside your thighs and then loop them right in between your legs and then grab both ends right in between your legs, right? Then we're going to set the feet flat to the mat, and then you get to kind of pull on both straps a little bit to feel that tightness that's wrapped around your thighs. So this particular pelvic reset is for your outer thighs, your abductors. So now from here, as you're holding onto both ends of the strap, and you got your thighs looped up, press down against your feet and come into this little modified bridge pose. Pull on the strap a little bit more to feel tension. And then pulse your thighs outward as much as you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, pulse it. Keep your pelvis set at neutral. Your butt's going to want to bounce up and down, but use your outer thighs. Use your outer hips to continue pulsing. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse outward and hold that. Another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Set the strap off to the side. Keep both knees bent here. Now walk your feet forward, just maybe about a footprint forward so you can feel that your heels are forward of both knees. Then lift your feet up so now you're balancing on the heels. Right? From here, your arms will come alongside you. Then lift the hips up again into a quarter bridge. So I want you to imagine here like you've got a bowl of water resting on the pelvic bowl itself, and you want to keep it fairly balanced. Our hip points are lining up with our thigh bones all the way up to the kneecaps. We're on our heels. So that means right now you can feel these guys, the under part of your legs, those are your hamstrings, and they're working and contracting, helping to stabilize the pelvis. From here, we're going to extend your right leg out, keeping the knees aligned, the thighs aligned as much as you can without dumping the butt down. So keep that bowl of water stable. Then lower just your right leg to hover over the mat. And then inhale, bring the leg back where it was, knees and the thighs align with each other. Go ahead and exhale, lower that leg, let the leg hover. Inhale, lift it back up. Again, stabilize the pelvis. One more, lower, exhale. Inhale, lift it, hold there for another 5, 4, belly strong, front ribs down to the back ribs, 2, bend the right knee on 1, set the bum down. Did we feel that? Raise your arm, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, yeah. I know it's pretty challenging. So again, we have our feet forward of both knees. Come onto the heels of both feet so the toes are pointing to the sky. Go ahead and now lift the hips up. Again, just about a quarter of the bridge. You don't want it all the way so you feel you're on your shoulder blades. I want you to feel that you've got your back ribs rooted against the mat and your core sitting in through the core. That core is so super strong because it's braced. Then from here, go ahead and extend your left leg forward. Let the leg lift, keeping your knees and thighs aligned. And you can always look forward to see if that's actually happening for you. Hold and balance here because you have that open bowl of water resting on your own pelvic bowl. Next, exhale, let that left leg hover over the mat without shifting in the pelvis. Then inhale, bring that leg back where it was. Exhale and lower that leg down. Inhale, lift the leg up. Notice what your right leg is doing. Maybe it's going to escape off to the right. Keep it stable. Now keep the leg lifted. Hold here for another 5, 4, core strong. Front ribs down to back ribs. 2, bend that left knee and exhale, slowly lower. Pull both knees into your chest. Nicely done. Rock a little side to side. Nice massage for your low back. All right. And go ahead and rock up. Take both blocks and just place them more to the top of your mat because we'll need them in a moment. And then come into a standing forward fold at the very top of your mat. I will put Wendell off to the side. Poor Wendell likes to turn his head to the other way, so I'm going to turn him forward. So just come into a standing forward fold, both feet set at sit bones distance. So once you're here, just go ahead and reach for opposite elbows, draping your torso over your legs. Head is heavy. Now, I want you to think too, those sit bones I pointed out on Wendell have a direct correlation to our heels. Right? So in this particular position here, sometimes our pelvis is a little further past the heels. So you can actually rock your weight slightly forward to the fronts of your heels a bit to actually move the pelvis forward. So now those sit bones are in line with both heels. And that may mean you need to bend both knees to make that action happen. So that's perfectly fine. Take another breath. Both hands slide up towards your hip creases. Press firmly against both feet. Inhale, rise up to stand. Sweep both arms up overhead, and then just lower your right arm and reach your left arm alongside the ear for a side stretch. Let's inhale, bring the arms up. Lower the left arm and exhale, take your side stretch left. Inhale, extend the arms up, maybe even look upward. Exhale, forward fold down into your legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to mat, or maybe fingertips or hands to your shins. And then as you exhale, let's go ahead and step the left foot back, lower the knee to the mat, release your toes, and slide both hands right at your back, at your sacrum is what we always say. But technically, again, those both halves for the pelvis, right? So once your hands are there, push the palms firmly against the back of the pelvis as you're rooted down against the top of that back foot. Notice here now it takes the weight off the knee as it turns on the hamstrings of that back leg. So really essentially we're getting stretch in the psoas because again, psoas is one of those things that pulls our pelvis out of whack. Take another breath. Beautiful. As you release, go ahead and find pyramid pose. Your blocks are in front of you, so you can use them as you half step the left foot forward. From here, inhale, look up, lengthen, and maybe just keep the spine long if you'd like. Otherwise, you can always fold towards that right shin. This is also one of those poses where when we have one leg in front of the other, it's hard to gauge how our pelvis is set in space. So it helps to actually just maybe wrap the right hip crease back. Take another breath. Nice. If you're folded over the leg, look up, lengthen. Reach for those blocks if you haven't already, and then take them a half step forward. So now you can come into the supported warrior three. Your back leg is strong. All 5 toes are looking down to the mat. From the inseam of your inner thigh to the inner heel, it's lifting to the sky to find that balance and through the pelvis. Feel here that you can steer your right hip crease back a little bit more, so now the right side is even to the left side. Using an exhale, we'll take the left foot forward to meet your right foot. Let the foot hover, and then bring that leg back into warrior three as you inhale. Exhale, bring the left foot forward to hover. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring the foot to hover. Hold right there. Now notice here, especially if you're tight in your hamstrings, maybe that left hip is hiked up higher than your right hip. So you can even bend at the knee a little bit to find that balance in the sacrum. Hold another 3, 2, set the foot down, release the blocks. Inhale, come to stand, reach the arms up. Left hand down the leg, reach your right arm alongside your exhale. Inhale, bring the arms up. Lean it to the right exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up, maybe gaze up. Exhale, fold down to your legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, right foot will step back. Let's lower the knee to the mat. Again, just slide the hands into the sacrum, at the sacrum rather. Again, push your pelvis forward. Contract the glutes of your back leg as you're pushing down against the top of the foot. Again, so that back leg is really what's getting the stretch in this low lunge. And as you're here, think about both hip points lifting, especially this left side of the pelvis off the thigh bone. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Release that for pyramid. Use the blocks if you'd like. As you half step your right foot forward and off to the right. You can either fold towards a leg or stay nice and long and upright in the spine. Again, imagine here that open bowl of water is now resting on the back of your pelvis this time. Left hip can steer back as you lift your right hip up just a smidge. Let's look forward, grab a hold of both blocks, take them a half step forward as you shift and lift for a warrior three. Make sure it stays supported here. Back leg is really strong as the crown of the head reaches forward. Then as you exhale, bring that right leg to meet your left leg, but let the foot hover. Inhale, bring the leg back for a warrior three, inner thigh to the sky. Exhale, bring the leg forward. Inhale, lift it. Exhale, bring the leg forward and hover right here. Again, notice that there's imbalance in the sacrum, or rather your pelvis. Bend both knees if you need to in order to find that balance. Another 3, 2, set the foot down on 1. Inhale, rise and stand, reach the arms up. Exhale, glide the hands to your heart center, Samastitihi. Let's inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Dive forward as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, palms to the mat, walk, step, or hop back. Your choice. This is first time moving through chaturanga, so advise you maybe lower the knees down, maybe start with a cobra for your back bend, and eventually you'll end up in a downward facing dog. All right, so from your downward facing dog, I want you to feel the 4 points of contact you have on your mat, both hands, both feet. From here, take your right hand to the small of your back. Notice now we have 3 points of contact, and notice too how a lot of weight is shifted to the left side, and maybe there's imbalance back in our sacrum. So you can actually, or rather your pelvis, so you can keep your pelvis set at neutral, steer your left hip crease back. From here, as you place your right hand back to the mat, slide forward on the inhale, plank. Then as you exhale, shift the hips back and now take the back of your left hand to your pelvis. Back of your pelvis. Again, those 3 points of contact so you can find some balance. It requires you to push down and forward into your right hand, right arm, but so you can lift the hips up and back. When you place your left hand to the mat, slide forward, inhale, plank. Exhale, bend both knees in your down dog. Kiss your thigh bones toward your thighs as you lift the sit bones high. Inhale, glide forward to plank. Take your right knee to your right tricep. Exhale, come back, bend both knees in your down dog. Inhale, slide forward, left knee, left tricep. Exhale, bend both knees in your down dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, right hand to the low back. Inhale, plank pose, both hands down. Exhale, left hand to the back. Inhale for plank pose. Bend both knees in your down dog. Exhale. Inhale, right knee, right tricep. Exhale, bend both knees in your down dog. Inhale, left knee, left tricep. Exhale, bend the knees in your down dog. Inhale, back for plank. This time, hold. So once you're in plank, spin the eyes of your elbows forward. Notice the shoulder blades set wide on the back as your collarbones are wide as well. Then rock your weight forward to your big toes, knees down or not, lower all the way or halfway down to your space. Your back bend of choice, cobra or upward facing dog. As you inhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. All right, let's start to add more movement now. Inhale, lift the heels, bend at your knees. Exhale, walk, step, or hop forward toward your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Press to stand, nice and strong. Reach your arms, lift your gaze, see the palms touch. Then slide your hands downward to your heart, Samastitihi. Inhale, see the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, hinge and fold forward into your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen, Ardha. Palms flat, send the feet back, walk or step, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, scoop your chest forward and up. Allow the collarbones to widen, the neck to lengthen. Nice, you guys. Exhale, lift those hips up and back. So as both hands are firmly rooted with a lot more of your pressure against the bases of your index fingers and thumbs, against that, feel how the hips lift up nice and high. Find more extension through your spine. Empty out and exhale now. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward. Exhale, step or spring forward towards your hands. Nice. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, fold down to your legs. Press to stand. Reach your arms up overhead. Get nice and tall and long. Then slide both hands back to your heart center. Samastitihi. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, let's fold forward into our legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, shoulder blades on the back, palms flat, send the feet back, keep the gaze slightly forward so the neck is long on your way down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Feel how your upper arm bones, the outer arms wrap inward towards your ears. Now you've got the shoulder blades wide on your back, so there should be less tension into the upper back, allowing the neck to feel free as the head dangles. Legs are strong as the thigh bones press back, sit bones lifting up and away from the heels that are heavy. Let's do one more round. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Exhale, walk, step, or hop forward to your hands. Hi, Britta's baby. Inhale, lift the hips up high. All right, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press to stand. Reach your arms. Lift your gaze. Then the hands slide back to the heart space. Samastitihi. Last round. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway get length. Palms to the mat, feet back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Once you get to down dog, you decide to hold down dog 3 breaths or lower the knees down, take a moment in child's pose for 3 breaths. All right, so honor your body. Last moment. We're going to meet at the top of our space. So inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Separate the feet at sit bones distance. Bend your knees for a wide-legged chair pose, Utkatasana. Right. So once you're here, the pelvis is sort of in that halfway spot between a cow tilt. A lot of times it's overly done into a cow tilt. A lot of times it's tucked in so much into a cat tilt, saying like, "Oh, that's going to help your low back." No. So you got to find that midway, and that midway is essentially neutral. So once we're set mid, we're going to feel the hip points lift up towards our ribs to engage the core, arms overhead. Shift your weight into your right foot, extend your left leg forward, much like we did on our backs. Keep the knees and the thighs aligned. Just imagine there's a block inside your inner thighs, and then hug your right hip back into the midline. Your foot to hover, sweep the arms behind you like a hovering one-footed half chair. Nice. Set the left foot down, chair pose, both feet down, arms overhead, inhale. Reset. Left foot stays grounded, extend your right leg forward. Press out through the heel. Tops of the thighs and knees align, belly's firm and supporting the sacrum. Then as you move to that hovering half chair, the foot hovers and both arms reach behind you. Beautiful, guys. Set the foot down. Inhale, chair. Reach the arms up. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, look and lengthen. Palms to the mat. Skip vinyasa if you like. Just make your way into a downward facing dog. Once we're in a down dog, inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend at the knees, stack at the hip. Stay right there. Now steer your left hip crease back away from the left hand to feel more length into your left side waist. Come into a hovering table, so both knees bend, and then we'll hover the right knee next to the left knee. Again, imagine you've got an open bowl of water set right at the back of your pelvis. Next, inhale, open your knee out to the right. Exhale, pull the knee in toward your chin. Inhale, sweep the knee out to the right. Exhale, pull the knee into your chin. Inhale, sweep the knee out to the right. Hold right there. Straighten your left leg out so that left leg is in plank. Your right knee still out to the right. Get longer through your right sideways as you lift your left rib cage up. Exhale, pull the knee to the chest. Step the foot forward. Back heel spins flat. Warrior one. All right. Once you set your legs in that warrior one stance, you can glide your knee to stack over your heel as that right thigh bone moves back into that right hip socket. Back heel is rooted as your left inner thigh is moving to look at the wall behind you. With your exhale, let's lean forward as you reach both arms behind us. And as you're leaning, I want you to feel like you can lift the right side of the pelvis away from your right thigh. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Begin to bend the left knee so you're kissing your thigh bone forward. Then keep both knees bent as you have them. High lunge. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms up. Back knee bent. Back knee bent allows for that neutrality in the pelvis as you're lifting the hip points up, reaching your tailbone down to the ground. Hold one more breath. Then with the exhale, we'll place the hands down. Keep the long stance in your legs for a long pyramid stance this time. Once you're here, front foot can remain flat, or if you're a little bit more open, you can roll to the heel of that foot. Let's take a few moments here, get some reprieve into that right leg by finding some release into the back chain of the leg to the hamstrings. Got one more breath. Beautiful, guys. Go ahead and lunge back into that front knee, both palms flat, step back plank or one leg plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now inhale, lift the left leg up high. Exhale, we'll bend at the knee to stack the hips, but keeping your shoulders square. Notice right away how your right sideways started to shorten, so you can wrap your right hip crease back. Knees bent, we'll slide forward to that hovering tabletop. Front of the thighs aligned, shoulders over the wrists, belly strong. Inhale, open your knee out to the left. Exhale, pull the knee in closer toward your chin. Inhale, sweep it to the left. Exhale to the chin. Whole time we're doing this, inhale to the left, hold. We got that stable pelvis. Straighten your back leg like plank. Lift the right rib cage, lift your right belly. Hold another 2, 1. Pull the knee in, step the foot forward. Back foot flat. Warrior 1, inhale. Nice. Again, set your foundation. Both feet firmly rooted down against the mat. Lunging into the front knee at the same time, we're taking that left sit bone back in space so the thigh bone draws back into its hip. That back leg, that right hip steers forward at the same time you're lifting your right hip point up towards your heart. Let's now exhale, lean forward. Lengthen over your left thigh bone. Left side of the pelvis is lifted over the leg. Pivot on the ball of the back foot now, and then bend the back knee, let it hover, and then inhale, high lunge with both knees bent. So squeeze your outer hips into the midline, activate those inner thighs, those adductors we worked earlier when we're finding that stability in our pelvis. Zip the pubic, or rather your hip points up to your heart. Hold another 3, 2, on 1, we'll lower the hands down. Keep the long stance, long pyramid stance. Straighten that left leg out. Your choice. You want to keep the foot flat. You want to roll to the heel. Nicely down. Lunge into that knee. Plant your palms flat. Step back plank, or maybe hover that leg. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Nice, Jamie. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, from here, go ahead and lower both knees to your mat. Your blocks are more than likely at the front of your mat, so I want you to bring your blocks just to the sides of the mat for a moment. Sweep both legs in front of you, come into boat pose, Navasana. So do this just to begin. Slide both hands back for a moment. So as if you're going to move into reverse tabletop, but we're not going to. So the hands are back behind us, but then I want you to actually push your chest forward and up. So really lift that heart up. So you can keep your chest as you've now placed it to reach both arms forward. Nice, there it is. Hold here, lift out of the chest, both knees bent, maybe legs straight, your choice. Nice, Debbie. Then lower for half boat, Ardha Navasana. Extend your legs forward, gaze up towards the sky, brace the core, knit your front ribs down towards your back ribs. Hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down on 1. From here, bend both knees, take each block, and at its lowest level, you'll slide them together to touch if you got 2, and then place both blocks right at the back of your pelvis. So it's supporting our back body like we do in a supported bridge, but I want you to use 2 because it kind of covers a lot more surface area, right? So we've got like a supported bridge on 1 or 2 blocks if you have 2 today. Now grab a hold of the strap you have, and you're going to loop the strap around the ball of your right foot. Extend the right leg to the sky. All right, so strap is around the ball of the right foot. Go ahead now and extend your left leg forward, but let it hover. Flex the left foot firmly because that's going to be your imaginary standing leg. The inseam of that left leg is looking downward to the mat. All right, so the face of the thigh is looking up to the sky. Your extended leg here, push up through the heel. Notice even where the direction of your knee is, or the toes are looking right. So you can actually point them in the same direction so it's looking past the crown of your head. Now for a moment here, play with me. I want you to go ahead and push the foot so much to the sky that it actually starts to lift your right butt cheek off your block, and it leans you to your left butt cheek and that left side, right? This happens a lot when we're standing. Notice the imbalance in the pelvis. So now go ahead and ground the right side of the pelvis back down against your mat. This is what you want to use. So your blocks are adding feedback to what's going on into your pelvis. From here, now place both ends of the strap into your right hand. Place your left hand flat onto that left hip point and open your leg out slowly to the right. Again, once you're here, notice what shifts or changes in your pelvis. Keep both sides of the pelvis evenly grounded against that block. Inner thigh of the leg that's to the right is spinning upward to the sky as the thigh bone is hugging into the hip socket. Remember what Wendell did earlier? Now inhale, bring the leg back to the sky. Release the strap and keep the leg lifted as you bring both arms overhead. Notice when you did that, your rib cage poked up to the sky. So knit your ribs down towards your mat. Engages the upper abdominals here, like you were standing, arms overhead, standing on that left leg, pushing your right heel forward, the back side of our pelvis against the blocks evenly. Another 2 and 1. Release that. All right. You can sway your legs side to side if you want. And we'll switch out. Strap up the left foot. Extend your right leg forward straight, let it hover, right? So again, what tends to happen is that like we lose, again, the direction of our legs, especially when we can't literally see them here. So you can always just pop your head up and look up. The inner thigh of that extended leg, the right leg, is spinning down to the mat. Your lifted leg, as you're holding on to it, you want to see that your toes and the knee are looking past the crown of your own head. Now again, notice here if you shift a little bit more of the weight to your right side of the pelvis, again, that's that little feedback, that sensory thing going, all right, that's not what I want. So I'm going to ground that left side of the pelvis again. Place both hands of the strap or ends of the strap in your left hand, right hand on your right hip point, and inhale, open the leg slow to the left. Again, recognize, did you go too far? Well, right now your right side of the pelvis is off your block. So reground it and then go be okay what's going on in your head. Let the ego go. Notice your right leg did escape to the right. Keep it in its lane. Hold. Then bring the leg back to the sky. Take the strap off. Reach both arms up overhead. Again, knit your front ribs close firmly to your back ribs. Activate your upper abdominals. Tighten up through your corset here. So right leg, so you can even contract the glute of that leg and then contract the glute of your right leg to find more extension through that hip. Left leg is in a flexion of the hip. Hold another 2. Release on 1. Hug your knees in. Rock a little side to side. Set the feet flat. Set the blocks off to the side. Hug the knees in once again. And then how about we rock and roll forward and back, forward and back. Rock up, chair pose. Boom. All right, so you're in chair. Let me look down here. Are you in chair? Chair, okay. Yeah. From your chair pose, let's twist it to the right. So left arm outside of your right knee and thigh, hands meet together in prayer. So you'll notice here, we're twisting looking right, but that left side, that left knee probably snuck forward just a bit. So see, you can actually draw the left knee back, pulling that left hip back. Beautiful, guys. Unravel back to chair. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Then as you exhale, twist it to your left. Right arm outside the leg, palms meet together in prayer. Think about how your left rib cage can start to look toward your thumb line and that right hip crease pulling back. Nice. Unravel, chair. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. If you, my Bakasana people, crow people, if you want to add the arm balance here, you're more than welcome to. Taking those knees up towards your armpits, shins and the triceps align with each other as you float the feet off your mat. Nice. Squeeze inner thighs like you're holding a block in between. Then shoot the legs back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Nicely done, Britta. Maybe pike from there and shoot it back. All right, I'll see you down dog, everybody. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale out deeply. Again, inhale. Let it go. Now inhale, lift your right leg up in the air. As you exhale, hug your knee to the chest, step forward. Once again, Vera A, Warrior One. That back heel's rooted and grounded. Reach the arms up overhead. With your exhale, lean forward. Both arms swim right behind us. Pivot on the ball of the back foot, this time keeping the back leg a little straight, maybe a micro bend this time. Inhale, high lunge. Nice. Cactus out your arms. We'll eagle wrap the right arm over the left arm. Modify if you need to. Maybe give yourself a big bear hug if your shoulders are tight. Keeping the arms here, nudge the elbows forward away from the chest. Knit your front ribs in. Then tip forward, lean forward once again. Either stay right here leaning or make this a warrior three with your eagle arms. Nice control. Inner thigh, the lifted leg is lifting up to the sky. Wrap your right hip crease back even further. As you start to eagle out your leg, unravel your arms to interlace behind you. Left leg wraps over, stop to kickstand, reestablish balance. Lift the foot or wrap it around, but we have our hands interlaced. Then bend at your elbows so you can place your knuckles right at the sacrum. Remember that triangular bone? Push it into your sacrum. Widen out your collarbones, knit your front ribs in as you sit a little heavier into your hips. At the same time, both knees squeezing to the left. So you're finding both hip points pointing forward. Unravel, toppling tree. Extend the arms straight as you now kick the left heel to the sky, reaching the crown of the head down to the mat. If you lose it and you fall, it just turns into a standing split. But see if the head can come lower than that left heel that's higher. At the same time, you want to find some balance in through the pelvis. Lovely. Both hands lower to the mat. And now cross your left foot over your right foot. Pinky sides of the feet touch. Walk your hands left. Release your right hip by pressing your hips to the right side of your room. With your next inhale, bring your hands in front of your feet. Exhale, unravel both feet. Come to stand. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Step your right foot all the way to the back. Pivot to the right. Warrior two to the right. So your right knee is bent. I'm just going to turn around so I can see you folks. Right knee's bent. Warrior two to the very back of your mat. Heel to arch, or maybe heel to heel. You decide which best serves the low back area. Shoulder line is in line with the hip line in this pose. And then reach and look forward towards your right hand. Turn the palm, inhale, reverse it. Reach the arm alongside your ear. Exhale, Parshvakonasana prep. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Reach that top arm alongside your ear. Now, as you're here, feel more of your weight rooted against your back heel. Feel as if your right sit bone is trying to reach for that back heel, right? And then let that be some power in the back leg. If you feel enough power in that back leg and it makes sense, maybe both arms will float and frame up the head. Nice. Beautiful job. Inhale, come out of the pose, straighten your right knee out, reverse Trikonasana, straighten through the leg without locking out through the knee and lean it back. And then move right into Trikonasana triangle pose. So pivot and lengthen away from the pelvis, stack up from wrist to wrist. As you're here, feel how you can take your top rib cage and melt it closer towards the midline of your body. So it's engaging the top obliques as it's hogging and corseting inward. Feel how your right sit bone can pull back towards your back heel to allow more lengthening on that whole underside. Take one more breath. Nice. From here, come up out of your triangle pose. Come up and face the long edge of your mat. Turn all 10 toes forward. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Squeeze the elbows back behind you. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward and toward your legs. Hands to the mat, maybe fingertips lining up with the toes. Let the crown of the head get heavy. If you're fond of practicing a tripod or a bound headstand, you can take a moment here. And if you're currently inverting, slowly make your way down. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders, pop onto the fingertips, and inhale, get length first. With your exhale, pivot to the back of your mat. Once again, we're framing the right foot. I'm just going to do a little switch out. Frame your right foot, lower your left knee down, half split. Right leg is in front, left knee bent. Now you decide, maybe you're feeling good today and you want to work towards Hanumanasana. Go for it. Slide the right heel out, scoot your left knee back. You know you have props near you. You can use it as a little anchor underneath your right thigh if you'd like. One more breath. Then if you're in Hanumanasana, start to make your way out. Let's all bend forward into the front knee, palms flat, three-legged downward dog. Kick your right leg back and up in the air. From here, go ahead and hover your right foot next to your left foot in your down dog. Much like we began earlier in a forward fold. Again, recognize if your right hip is hiked higher than the left, maybe bend the knees so you can find balance in the sacrum. Keep that right leg hovering as you shift forward for plank pose. And then exhale, roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Hover that right leg next to left leg in your Vashisthasana, or grab a hold of the big toe and then maybe take that leg out to the right like we did on our blocks. Nice. Rest your right arm alongside your right hip. In fact, notice if your right hip point is looking up to the sky, you can readjust your pelvis so the hip points are facing the same direction as your chest. Keep the right arm alongside your right sideways, the legs are hovering. Turn it into a three-legged plank pose. You're on your left hand, you're on the balls of both feet, the sacrum's even, shoulders even. Reach that right arm forward, inhale. Exhale, hand down, down dog. Woo. All right. Let's try our left side. Inhale, lift the left leg in the air. Exhale, hug your knee to the chest, step the left foot forward, warrior one. Left foot forward, back foot flat. Again, both hip points lifting upward towards our chest. As you exhale, let's lean forward, send the arms back behind you. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. As you inhale, come on up, high lunge. Maybe micro bend the back knee to ensure you've got that neutral pelvis. Cactus out your arms. We'll eagle wrap the left arm over the right arm. Press the elbows away from your chest and your chin as you feel your front ribs snuggle to your back ribs. Exhale, lean forward and either stay leaning or shift and lift warrior three with your eagled out arms. Back leg strong, inner thigh to the sky, left hip crease is pulling back so both sides of the waist are even. Now listen, as you start to eagle wrap your legs, release your arms to interlace at the same time. Right leg over left leg, hands find each other to clasp. You decide how the eagle legs look. Then let's bend the elbows to place the knuckles at that sacrum, squeezing our elbows towards each other. Sit into your hips as you squeeze through your inner thighs, both knees moving to the right side of your mat. Toppling tree, inhale, release your right leg. Exhale, topple your chest to the mat, right heel to the sky, start to straighten out your arms. Once you're here, so you can actually lift the left side of the pelvis off your left thigh as much as you can. Nice, hands down, standing split for just a moment, and then step your right foot over your left foot at the top. Cross out your feet, right foot over left. Let's walk our hands a bit to the right. Press your hips to the left just to give reprieve to that left hip. Inhale, bring the hands in front of the feet. Exhale, unravel them, forward fold. Rise to stand, inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Step your left foot all the way to the very back. Pivot to face the left, warrior two. So now you're back facing the front of your mat. I'm just going to switch so I can see you. Left leg is out in front, back leg behind you, heel to arch, excuse me, heel to arch or heel to heel. Notice here too, a lot of times the right hip wants to hike up, right? So you want to feel here like you've got this plumb line along with your pant line, right? Hip points align with each other. Turn up your palm, reverse it, inhale. Exhale, side angle prep, Parsvakonasana. Place your right forearm to the thigh, reach your left arm right alongside your ear. Drive your left sit bone towards your back heel, signaling the back heel to carry some of this weight that's already moving forward. Once back leg feels strong, it might feel good. It might feel a lot of sense to reach the right arm alongside your ear, hovering like you're holding a ball in your arms. Beautiful, guys. Reverse this shape. Start to straighten your left leg out. Reach that left arm alongside your ear. And then your legs stay straight as we now pivot to find our Trikonasana triangle pose. And feel how your front body hugs closer towards the back body. Aim your right sit bone, or left sit bone rather, to your back heel to find more length into your whole left side waist. Beautiful postures, guys. One more breath. Press evenly against your heels and inhale, rise up to stand. Turn your left foot in, both toes or toes of both feet facing the long edge of your mat. This time bring your arms behind your back. Find an arm variation that you like. Interlace, prayer hands, fist to fist, or opposite elbows. Inhale, extend the arms, lift your chest. Then exhale, we fold forward into our legs. Aim the crown of the head towards your mat. Think about your inner thighs even working here. Hug them into the midline. Nicely done. Lift up halfway, inhale. Exhale, place both hands back to your mat. Pivot forward to the front of your mat, framing up your left foot. We'll lower the right knee down to the mat. Ardha Hanuman, half split. Again, you decide, maybe this side will stay in this half version, or you can extend it further. Hanumanasana. All right, folks. Start to make your way back into a half split, please. Then as we bend forward into the front knee, plant your palms, find a three-legged down dog. We kick the left leg back and up in the air on an inhale. Exhale, hover your left foot next to your right foot. Plug the left thigh bone into the hip socket. Keep the leg hovering as you come into a plank. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Keep the leg hovering in your side plank, Vashisthasana, or hand to big toe pose. Reach a hold of that foot, kick the leg up to the sky, plug that left femur bone into the hip socket. Nice. Keep that left leg hovering over your right leg, and now rest your left arm alongside your hip. Maybe take a moment, notice if your left hip point is pointing to the sky. Point it in the same direction as your chest. Keep the arm where it is as you now pivot to 2 feet. Come into that one, or rather that three-legged plank pose, noticing balance in the sacrum. Hold another 3, 2, reach the left arm forward. 1, left hand down, exhale, down dog. All right, lower your knees to the mat. Towel off, take a sip of water. How are y'all doing? You good? All right. Final pose is a balancing pose. And this is going to use your strap or what you're using as a strap. And we're just doing hand to big toe. So if you know you're pretty flexy and you can grab for the big toe, you can do so. But again, I want you to be mindful. Remember what Wendell showed us earlier. when we have that leg, and I'll turn to my side, when that leg extends forward, tight hamstrings will tend to pitch our pelvis like so, right? So if you have the tight hamstrings, it's okay to bend the knee as you draw the thigh bone back in, creating natural curve at that low back. So now the pelvis is set at neutral. There's no added weight into the standing leg. Then we take the leg out to the side. Same concept, right? A lot of us can just like, oh, bam, this is good. But look what happened to my pelvis. Just like Wendell earlier, it kind of cocked off to the side. Bears more weight in the standing leg. So as the legs to the side, plug the thigh bone into the hip socket, lift the hip points up. More stability. Ready to try? All right. A lot of you already started. So you get extra points, but now you got to hold it longer. All right. Strap that right foot. Extend your right leg forward. Left hand can stay on your hip. Sometimes too, I like to place it on the back side of my pelvis just to ensure that it's kind of rooted and flat there, right? So once you extend the leg forward, it doesn't have to get high. Plug your right thigh bone back into the hip socket. That's it, Jamie. Punch the chest up. Stay strong and rooted against that standing leg. Harris, release the tension in your right elbow, your right shoulder. Now, take your right leg out to the right. Once the leg is out to the right, again, plug the femur bone back in just to know that it's just kind of locked in place, not so much that it's pushing your hips to the left. Standing leg is strong by zipping up through the quadriceps, staying rooted against the heel. Remember, left sit bone is in line with left heel. Maybe the left arm reaches out to the side. Nice. Let's swing the leg forward. Release the strap, both arms up overhead. Remember this too. Tendency is the chest to poke out, so knit your front ribs to your back ribs. Plug that right femur bone in. Stamp down against the standing heel. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, release. Shake it out. Nicely done. Be good. All right, good thing we have two sides. Grab the strap. Strap up your left foot. Now, Harris, I told you like earlier when you had that arm and you're kind of like this, right? Walk your hand closer toward your foot so the elbow is straighter. And then plug the shoulder back in. If your elbow is bent, you're just adding extra tension into your posture that is not needed. So leg forward. Right hand, maybe it's on the hip, or like I said earlier, it's kind of nice and helpful as a tool, that feedback like the blocks, place it at the back of your pelvis. Plug the left thigh bone in, stamp down firmly against your standing heel. Inhale, open the leg to the left, plug the thigh bone in, lift the hip points up, maybe right arm out to the side. Nice. Inhale, bring that leg forward, release the strap, bring the arms up. Again, plug the thigh bone into the hip socket, create the neutral pelvis, belly strong, front ribs in, hold. Exhale, lower the foot down, the arms down. Nice. From here, just kind of stamp your heels up and down. Yeah, just kind of bring some energy back in, release all that tension that we built up. All right, nicely done. All right, let's come back down on our mat. Take a moment in child's pose. Just kind of ground yourself as we just now find some closing postures. So first, child's pose. All right, from your child's pose, just walk your hands back toward your legs. Let's sweep our legs forward. Coming to Janu Shirsasana, left foot stay straight, bend your right knee, place the foot into the left inner thigh. So earlier when I said your QL, this part of your lower back gets really tight. So in this particular pose here. We're going to release the QL. So just reach your right arm up, extend it out diagonally as you feel rooted against your right sit bone. And then you'll go ahead and grab the ankle or the foot as you fold on this diagonal to the leg. Yeah. So right leg, your bent leg is heavy towards your mat. Now I want you to, for a moment, just contract the glutes of your right leg, just the right leg. By contracting the glutes of that bent leg, it stabilizes your pelvis in Janushirasana. It could be a huge difference. It might be a little difference. But again, those little differences help to create just more stability in our body. Lift the gaze, inhale. Lift the chest with an exhale. Find either seated pigeon or double pigeon, your choice. Cross the ankle over the thigh, stamp onto that left foot, or stack up your legs. So those of you in the seated, or rather the double pigeon version, and you want to fold forward, walk your hands forward, kind of wiggle out some area of your glutes so those sit bones will point behind you. Now the pelvis will start to tip forward, allowing you now to find more space as you lengthen forward over the stack of your legs. And let's inhale, lift the head. Exhale, start to lift your chest. Walk your hands past your hips, unravel the legs, set your feet flat. Reverse tabletop. Push down to lift your hips up. You can always look forward, kind of notice as your midline kind of sinking, right? Again, that just means tightness, probably through our, and somewhere in our body, the front legs. So think about, can you try contracting your glutes to lift the hip points up so they line up with our thigh bones? Another breath. And then release that. Extend both legs forward. Janu A. Tuck the left foot now inside the right inner thigh. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, extend out diagonally. Again, so now you're getting this lower left side, stretching out your QL. And again, just try this. Can you just contract the glutes of your left leg? Just the left leg. You know, and you can even play with contracting it, not contracting it. You'll even notice the difference there. Just, are you more engaged? Are you less engaged? Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, lift your chest. And then we find our pigeon shape of choice. So again, you can cross the ankle over the thigh, step onto the right foot for a seated version of this, or stack up your legs for the double version. Then again, those of you in the double version that want to fold forward rather than just folding now, really work the sit bones back behind you, right? Point them behind as you fold in. There you go. And inhale, lift your head. Exhale, lift your chest. Once again, as you walk your hands back, maybe this time legs will extend forward for reverse plank, or bend the knees again for reverse tabletop. As you inhale, lift the hips up. Knit your front ribs towards your back ribs. Engage the glutes to find extension through your hips. If you're in the reverse plank version, maybe big toes touch, your feet flat. And then exhale, lower the seat down. Let's come down onto our backs. Come down onto your back and hug your knees in close to your chest. Give it a little rock side to side. Now, if you're fond of back bending and you want to do that, go for it. Not really going to do that, cue it, so you can go off on your own. If you want to keep following with me, come into a happy baby pose. Either hold the back of your thighs or maybe slide your hands up to the pinky sides of your feet. Notice here that you can really ground both sides of the pelvis firmly down against the mat as you reach out through your sit bones. So you feel those sit bones kind of extending to find more space through the full surface of the sacrum. From here, stay in happy baby, but like we did with our strap, I want you to wrap your arms just outside of your knees and then clasp your hands. From here, extend your right leg out just a little straighter. Maybe point the foot or flex the foot. And then bend that right knee and then straighten your left leg out to the side, pointing the toes or foot is flex, you choose. And then bring it back. One more time each side, straighten that right leg. And straighten the left leg. Come back to happy baby. Pull the knees in close together. You can cross your right knee over the left knee if you'd like for a spinal twist. We'll lower the knees left. Once you're here, it kind of helps to even readjust the upper body, kind of lift up and stretch your spine longer. And as the knees fall heavy to the left side of your mat, feel your right shoulder blade and the back ribs move closer towards the mat a little bit. And let's see if that gives you just more stretch, more sensation through your right side waist all the way to your right hip. And we'll inhale to bring the legs center. Switch up the cross of your legs if you cross them. And we'll lower the knees over to the right. Again, if you need to readjust the torso, do so. Find more space, more length. And that whole left side from the left shoulder blade, our back ribs are melting closer to the mat. And then we'll inhale to bring our legs to center. Bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees wide, Baddha Konasana. You can rest your hands on the top rim of the pelvis for just a moment. Close the eyes down. Now, energetically, this area, this chakra is our Svadhisthana chakra. The color here is orange. And when I referred to the pelvis being this pelvic bowl, it is kind of works out really well because the element in this chakra is water. So a lot of times you want to feel fluid within our hips that are coming from this area of our pelvis. But at the same time, we want to find stillness and stability. So as your body is starting to quiet down, feel here too, just the waters of your pelvis start to settle. And if you'd like, you can stay in this particular shape or let every limb extend out wide to take rest in Shavasana. As you lie here with eyes closed, slowly start to deepen your breath. And then as your breath begins to deepen and find more awareness, you move a little bit through your fingers, through your toes. Stretch your arms overhead, maybe extend your legs forward. And hug both knees into your chest. So roll over to one side of our body and then make your way up into a seated position. Once you come seated, go ahead and bring both hands together in prayer. Taking a moment of gratitude for being fully committed to our practice in these different times, these newer times, but times that we were able to maneuver so that we can reconnect back as community and reconnect back to our practice, which we know provides us support, strength, and stability. Let's slide our thumbs up towards our third eye center as we bow together, sealing our practice. Namaste. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much for practicing.